Black, the yoga coach, coaching you into your best and finest physical and emotional health. So today's class, or video if you will, is going to be a quick, maybe 20-25 minute video. And we're talking about springtime because it's April here for me. The sun is shining. I'm up in a mountain area of Suncrest videoing this today for you, and my heart is like full of joy and abundance. Coming out of winter, in the past week, have felt fatigued and tired and drained and exhausted and weary. I feel like I'm like plugging along and just trying to get my feet under me, and there's so much to do. So if you're feeling that way and coming out of a really harsh winter, or where the days are short, now we're moving into days are longer, I want this practice to be a renewal time for you. So it's all about renewing our energy, and our energy source is so important. I want you to recharge those adrenals. An essential oil that would be helpful for this would be basil. So if you are not pregnant, basil would be a safe essential oil for you to use to combat adrenal fatigue, tiredness, overwork, the whole gamut. We're also going to start with a balancing breathing technique that's called nadi shodhana, also known as alternate nostril breathing. I'll take you through a round and we'll do a few on your own. So using the peace fingers, you're going to place those on the pad of the hand, right hand. Your thumb and ring finger are going to close off the right and left side of the nostril. So starting with the right side, close off. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close the left, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. With your thumb, close off, exhale through the left. Repeating that 4 more times, that's 1 round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale through the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale through the right. 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale through the left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 4, 5, 6. Take it at your own pace. Exhale through the right. Inhale, same side. Pause at the top, exhale, left. Inhale, left. Pause, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pause, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pause, exhale through the right. Last time. Inhale through the right. And exhale. And just take 3 deep breaths on your own. Notice how you feel. I'd like you to practice that every morning for a week and see how that balances the left and right hemispheres of the brain and helps start your day out right. Okay, so take a cat-cow, one of my favorite postures. And we're going to take cat-cow, not only extending and flexing, so this would be cow, or some people call it extended cat, and then rounded cat. Exhale, inhale. I'm going to call it cow. Exhale into cat. We're going to take the hips in a circular or a figure 8 motion. So going side to side, from left to right. It's like your hips are doing the hula. And then you're just going to kind of move the shoulders with it. Oh yeah, and then you can move the hips in around and up and down with the spine. So the spine goes in a cat-cow. And the hips are circling or figure 8ing. Just whatever feels really juicy to you. To get out all the kinks in the shoulder and the low back. And then come to just a neutral spine. Exhale, release the heart towards the floor. Plug the shoulder blades onto the back. We're going to turn the toes under and come into downward facing dog. And come forward, waking up the shoulders into plank and then back into downward facing dog. 2 more. Inhale into plank. Keep the belly firm. Just start warming up the whole central system, torso, back into down dog. And come into plank. Knees to the floor. We'll do the same thing, only in child's pose. So coming into child's pose. Exhale. Inhale, hands and knees. Scoop the heart forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. Reaching the chest forward. Exhale, child's pose. So we'll be just continually moving and not taking a long time in any one standing pose today, but just renewing the system, reinvigorating. Hands and knees. Now this time turn the toes under and take downward facing dog. We're going to combine a few postures here. Coming into plank, inhale. Then bring the knees to the floor. We're going to add on. Bend the elbows and lean forward as you bend, keeping the elbows right at your side. And that's a strengthening move for sure. Release the hips, inhale, low cobra. And then exhale back into child's pose, right where we started. Arms reaching forward, stretch. Inhale, hands and knees. We're going to repeat this 4 times. Toes turned under, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, glide into plank. Oh, feels good. Belly firm. Bring the knees to the floor, but keep the belly firm as you lower down, chaturanga. Release the belly. Inhale, low cobra. And exhale. Back into child's pose. Inhale, hands and knees. 2 more. Toes turned under. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Push into the fingertips. If you're having trouble with your wrists, keep your fingers really strong. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or low cobra. Exhale, child's pose. 1 more time. Inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, keep moving with the breath, downward facing dog. Just feel the spaciousness you're creating. We want to rejuvenate, renew the body. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, low cobra. Be sure and hug the shoulder blades onto the back. And finally back into child's pose. 5 breaths in child's pose. This is a really good pick-me-upper, and if it's hurtful to if your knees don't like child's pose, walk your hands out further and take puppy pose. 5 breaths here. Awesome. And come back up onto your hands and knees. That breath right into the back body helps relieve the adrenals and give them a boost, a kickstart, which we could all use. Now I want you to plug your right hand into the mat, right knee, and then you're going to open to the side wall, coming into what I call a side plank. Keep the wrist forward from the shoulder, okay? So we're just going to come here, inhale, and then on your exhale, you're going to bring the hand right through and lift the belly. Inhale, twist and open. Exhale, towards the back, towards the mat. Inhale, open. Exhale, through. One more time. And back to the start position. Other side. So left knee, I'm going to turn my back to you. You can see how this looks from the back side. Reaching up, inhale, exhale. Take that top arm and reach through the bottom. Inhale, exhale. Really get a nice squeeze around the waist. Squeeze the waist as you twist. Inhale, open, chest and arm. Exhale, squeeze. Last time, inhale. And exhale, come to hands and knees. Good, and then sit back. You can place a block underneath your hips if you'd like. Rotate through the wrists. And place your thumb inside the fingers. Draw the knuckles down. That's just to release any tension that we've created in the wrist. And if you've got any kind of nerve damage or carpal tunnel, this is a great exercise to do. It's very simple. Okay, another one is to clasp the fingers together and pull apart directly. So now we're going to come to the belly and work on just the cobra part. So bring your thumbs chest into the mid-chest, even with the middle of the chest. Elbows are going to hug in, shoulders lift away from the floor, and then you peel up. Take a breath in, exhale, lower back down. Now we want this to be constructive and not destructive. So in the low back, to hold that energy firm, I want you to take a mula bandha, or contract the pelvic floor. It's like a kegel. And also just firm the front side of the belly. Okay, when you do that, you should see the back grow long. So this is without a kegel, this is with, and my belly firm. See how the back stretches out? Then we're going to lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale. Keep that firm support and grounding. Lift the hands. Hold, hold, and release. Again, elbows in, shoulders up. Inhale, reach the chest forward, and instead of pushing the hands into the mat, we're going to pull them back, chest forward. Hold, hold, hands lift, into jet airplane. Hold, hold, and release. Arms at your side, head to one side, and relax the hips. You can even shake them side to side. Whew. One more time. Inhale, head, neck, and shoulders, arms come up. You're lifting into a jet airplane, and then we're going to take the feet off the floor in flight. Keep the belly firm, pelvic floor firm. Whew. And release. Turn the head the opposite direction. Wiggle the hips side to side. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Alive. We're doing one more. Inhale. Lift head, neck, and shoulders. Feet come off. Now squeeze and hug the inner thighs. Last one more breath. And exhale, release. Whew. That feels so good. So bring the hands next to the chest. Coming up, take a downward facing dog just to release the low back. Oh, that should feel fantastic. Now you're going to walk your hands in just a little bit. Your feet just a little bit towards your hands. Anchor the left hand into the floor and arm bone into the shoulder socket, like so. And we're just going to lift the right arm, or practice lifting the right arm. If this is easy for you, take the right hand around the outside of the left ankle and peek under the armpit. Deep breath in. Exhale. Mula Bandha or Kegel. So you're from the pelvic floor, lifting up and twist. Replace the right hand. Now notice that I'm not hyperextending the elbows. I want you to keep a slight bend in the elbow. That's super important. Right hand to the mat, super strong. Arm bone in the socket. Left hand lifts. You can just go to that point. If you want to reach around and grab the ankle or outside the calf, you're going to turn and look underneath the shoulder and breathe. And then replace the hand. Good, bring the knees to the floor. And sit back in child's pose. Take a break. Bend the elbows, clasp the hands behind the head, and stretch the tricep. So I'm going to push my head into the hands, clasp, and just lift and extend the chest forward. Stretching deeply in the tricep. And release. All you weightlifters and athletes are really going to feel that right behind the back of the arm, as if you've worked out. And come back up onto your hands and knees. We're going to slide the right leg forward and come into a low lunge here. Low lunge, fingertips to the floor, either side. This could be narrow. If you want to bring that back foot in a little bit, we're going to raise the hips. Inhale, exhale, lower back down. Inhale, raise the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Pause here. Bring the back knee to the floor, top of the foot down. If you would like to put a block on either side, that's an option too. You're just holding, stretching the hip flexor. And then we're going to bend the back knee and straighten the front knee. Stretch the whole back side of the hamstring. Good, and come back up. Pop that back knee off the floor and switch sides. So right leg comes back, left leg comes forward. We're in a low lunge. Hands on the blocks if you'd like. Inhale, raise the hip. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Press through the ball of the big toe, or the ball of the foot. And exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. One more time, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring the back knee to the floor. And hold. Pause for a deep stretch in the hip flexor. There's nothing like just really opening up that whole front side. If you'd like to bring the hands to the thigh, that's an option. Lift the chest and make this more of a back bend. That feels really good. And bring both hands to the floor. Straighten the front leg as you bring the hips back. I just call this a runner's stretch. I like to use the opposite hand outside the foot. Anchor the heel to the floor. Yeah, get a nice stretch through the hamstring. This feels super good. Nice. And then come back. We're going to do some strengthening moves. So this is just a push-up. If this is a strain on your wrist, I want you to keep your knees on the floor, and I'll demonstrate it like that. So from hands and knees, take a wider stance. Hands are a little bit more forward, knees are farther back rather than this would be narrow. So take more length here. And then you're going to come down halfway, hug your elbows in, lift the shoulders away from the floor, and then press back up. So this move takes a lot of strength in the belly, so you're going to keep that belly firm. As you move forward, lower halfway, pull the belly in strong, shoulder blades on the back, press back up, and push into child's pose. So inhale, come forward, keep going forward, elbows bend, lower down halfway or a couple of inches, press back up, child's pose. Inhale, 2 more, exhale down, pause, breathe, press back up, exhale, child's pose. Last time, inhale, exhale, halfway down, pause. Yes, and if your arms are tired, that's a great celebrate. You've just found muscles that you haven't used and we're working them and strengthening them, so that's excellent. Cross the feet and come to a seated position. We're going to take the legs out one at a time. So I've got the left leg straight, right leg bent. I'm coming into an L shape here. I'm going to turn towards the straight leg and just lean forward, hinging at the hip, reaching opposite hand to foot. Feeling quite grounded. And just take a couple of breaths in, exhale, twist a little deeper, inhale, and exhale. And we don't have to close all the way off in a forward fold, but forward folds tend to be reflective. And I want to keep this practice in particular a little bit more on the renewing, the open side, because it's springtime and I like to just have the heart open in springtime. So what we're going to do is take the opposite hand, so it's my right hand. I'm going to place it behind the hip and come all the way up. And back to a seated position, switch sides, right leg is straight, left knee bends in, open. And then I'm going to turn towards that straight leg. If you want an inner spiral, if you know what that is, just taking the inner thigh towards the floor, pubis towards the floor. Everything is anchored so that the pelvic pelvic bowl is tipping forward and not back. And then we're going to lean forward. And you might not go very far, that's great. Head to knee pose or Janu Shirshasana. It's just opening up the back of the hamstring. That feels really, really good. Take the head forward. One more breath. Good. Inhale, lift up. Raise that left arm behind. And this is what it looks like from the front. Right arm lifts. You're going to support through the shin, the heel, and the arm. And reach up. Full deep breath, basking in the warm glow of the spring. The time of coming out and shedding all that hibernating layers of winter stuff. So we're going to get outside and really move into gardening and getting deep into the earth. I love this time. Everything is fresh and new and vibrant. So take a wide angle, a seated wide angle, forward bend. We're going to take it to the right side first. And just opening up that whole side body long. And come back center, inhale. Exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. And exhale, take the elbows forward. You know, each of us is here for a reason, and valuing our lives just by discovering that unique part that we're to play in our everyday lives. So think about that and discern what you want to focus on more mindfully. Set goals and achieve them step by step. Resisting distractions I know it's easy to be distracted by what's going on around you, but being purposeful every day in what we value and putting our focus on those more important things can bring us more abundance in our life. So that's something I'm working on, being more purposeful. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. Knees wide, hands on the ankles. Inhale, lift. And then exhale. Just a little mini cat-cow here. Inhale. This time take it forward. Elbows on the shins. And gently open the knees. Inhale, chest lifts. Just invest your full enthusiasm into this posture. Exhale, more forward fold. Even the simplest job, when we invest our full enthusiasm into it, you can watch the flow of our lives just get more easier, right? Because we're putting our full attention on it. Purposefulness is trusting the journey. Because it does take a journey to get from point A to point B. It's all the stuff in the middle that we sometimes want to jump over, but trusting that process and moving through it with purposefulness and mindfulness will make it all that much more sweeter. So I invite you to do that. Okay, so we're just going to take the right knee in a pinwheel position and then twist towards the back wall. One of my favorite twists. Yeah, come back to center and we'll switch sides. Both knees, pinwheel in the opposite direction. Inhale, exhale, twist through the waist. Turn the chest, body, hands to behind you. That ought to awaken all this energy in our solar plexus too. So swing your feet around. Let's take a lying down position on your mat and end with a little bridge work. So feet are hip distance apart, shoulder blades underneath you. Mula Bandha. Now that's a Kegel. I've been talking about it all class, but it's drawing up the pelvic floor towards the cervix and an internal contraction. Okay, and if you're familiar with a Kegel, I know the women are, men might not be so much, but it's an internal contraction lifting the pelvic floor. And then you want to lift the hips. And take less of a squeeze on the buns and more internal contraction and inner thigh squeeze. Yeah. One more breath. And lower down. Nice. Cross the right ankle over left. Easy hip stretch. Right arm's going to come through and behind the hamstring. Oh, and sweetly draw that knee in for a deep hip stretch. Ah, that feels so good. And then keeping the ankle crossed, drop the knees over to your left as you look to your right. And come back to center, switching sides. Left arm through, and then knee gently coming in. You can practice this posture against a wall, foot up on the wall, very helpful. So your shoulders relax, breathe. Gently release, right leg to the floor, twist to the right, look to your left. back to center. Now Shavasana is just that relaxation pose where we take the legs out, arms out, big breath in, release and relax completely. And allow yourself to deeply relax into the mat. And to stay in Shavasana for at least a minute, or at least 5 minutes. I'm just going to end with a quote for you as you're resting sweetly in Shavasana. Our calling is where our deepest gladness and the world's hunger meet, by Frederick Buckner. The practice of purposefulness is to discern your true calling. I create a clear vision for this time in my life. I set goals for achieving my purpose. I concentrate fully on what I am doing. I enjoy giving excellence to each task. I find the opportunity in every experience. Have an abundant day, live a purposeful life, and renew your commitment to living on purpose and honing in on your skills set and sharing with the world. Namaste.